Hello, good morning everyone. This is Dexter Magno and our lesson for today is about the basic of research citation. And we will be using the American Psychological Association citation. In reference citation, in text are covered on pages 207 to 214 of the publication manual of the American Psychological Association 6th edition. The performance standard of our lesson for today is how to use sources according to ethical standard. And our most essential learning competencies is to follow ethical standards in writing related literature. Okay, so what follows are some general guidelines for referring to works of others in your manuscript. APA style requires authors to use the past tense or the present perfect tense when using signal phrases to describe earlier research. Example, Jones, open parenthesis, 1998, and then close parenthesis, found, followed by the statement, or Jones, open parenthesis, 1998, and then close parenthesis, has found, followed by the statement. When using APA format, follow the author date method of in-text citation. This means that the author's last name and the year of publication for the source should appear in the text. Example, open parenthesis Jones, comma, 1998, close parenthesis. And a complete reference should appear in the reference list at the end of the paper. And if you are referring to an idea from another work but not directly quoting the material or referring to an entire book, article, or other work, you only must refer to the author and year of publication in your in-text reference. And remember, always capitalize the first letter of proper nouns, including author names and initials. Example, S. Markster. When you are referring to the title of a source within your paper, capitalize all first letter of a word that are 4 letters long or greater within the title of a source. Example, permanence and change. And the exceptions apply to short words that are verbs, nouns, pronouns, adjectives, and adverbs. Example, writing new media. Another one, there is nothing left to lose. Note, in your reference list, only the first letter of a word of a title will be capitalized. Example, writing new media. Only the W or the first letter of the word are capitalized or is capitalized. And when you capitalizing the titles, capitalize both words in a hyphenated compound word. Example, natural dash born brilliant. Capitalize the first letter word after a dash or a colon. Another example, defining film rhetoric, colon, the case of the former president. And remember, for in-text citation, always italicize or underline the titles of longer works such as books, edited collections, movies, television series, documentaries, or albums. Examples. Number 1, The Closing of the Oligarch State. Second example, The New Beginning. And the last example, The Open Mind. Put a quotation marks around the titles of shorter works such as journal articles, articles from edited collections, television series episodes, and song titles. Examples: multimedia narration, constructing possible words. Second example, the one who makes the Philippines great again. Citation for short quotation. If you are directly quoting from a work, you will need to include the author, year of publication, and the page number of the reference preceded by quote P or the small p. Introduce the quotation with a signal phrase that includes the author's last name followed by the date of publication in parentheses. Examples: according to Jones, open parenthesis, 1998, close parenthesis, comma, students often had difficulty using APA style, especially when it was their first time, close parenthesis, and the small p or the page number dot 199, close parenthesis, period. Another example, Jones, open parenthesis, 1998, and then close parenthesis, found students often had difficulty using APA style, open parenthesis, p dot 199, close parenthesis. What implications does this have for teachers? If the author is not named in a signal phrase, place the author's last name, the year of publication, and the page number in parentheses after the quotation. Example: she stated, students often had difficulty using APA style, but she did not offer an explanation as to why. Open parenthesis, Jones, comma, 1998, comma, page or the p dot 199, close parenthesis, period. Now we are here for the citation for long quotations. Place direct quotations longer than 40 words in a freestanding block of a typewritten lines and omit quotation marks. You should omit the quotation marks. Start the quotation on a new line indented 5 spaces from the left margin. And then type the entire quotation on the new margin and indent the first line of any subsequent paragraph within the quotation 5 spaces from the new margin. Maintain double spacing throughout your paper. And then the parenthetical citation should come after the closing punctuation mark. Now we have here an example for the long quotations. Jones, apostrophe S, open close parenthesis, 1998, close parenthesis, study found the following students often had difficulty using APA style, especially when it was their first time citing sources. This difficulty could be attributed to the fact that many students failed to purchase a style manual or to ask their teacher for help. And open parenthesis, P or the page number 199, close parenthesis, period. Now, what we gonna do if we are summarizing or paraphrasing the work of others that we will be using as our related literature? If you are paraphrasing an idea from another work, you only must refer to the author and year of publication in your in-text reference. But APA guidelines encourage you for also provide the page number, although it's not required. We have an example here. First, according to Jones, open parenthesis, 1998, close parenthesis, comma, APA Styles is a difficult citation format for first-time learners. Second example, APA Style is a difficult citation format for the first-time learners. Open parenthesis, Jones, comma, 1998, comma, P. 199, close parenthesis, period. Now let us go on citing an authors or a work by two authors. Name both authors in the signal praise or in the parenthesis each time you cite the work. Use the word and or the A and D between the author's name within the text and use the ampersand in the parenthesis. What is the ampersand? This is the symbol for and. Examples. Research by Sean and Markster, open parenthesis, 2016, supports, followed by the content, and open parenthesis, Sean and the ampersand symbol, Markster, comma, 2016, close parenthesis. Now, how about the work by 3 to 5 authors? How are we gonna cite them? List all the authors in the signal praise or in the parenthesis in the first time you cite the source. For example, open parenthesis, Kernes, comma, Kernel, comma, Sun, comma, Berry, comma, and Hollow, comma, 1993, close parenthesis. In subsequent citations, only use the first author's last name followed by quote et al. In the signal praised or in a parenthesis. Example, open parenthesis, Kernes et al. Period, comma, 1993, close parenthesis. Now, in 6 or more authors, use the first author's name followed by et al. In the signal praise or in the parenthesis. Example, Harris et al. Dot, close parenthesis or open parenthesis rather, 2001, argued, and write the content or the statement. Another example, open parenthesis, Harris et al. Dot, comma, 2001, and then close parenthesis. How about if the author is unknown? If the work does not have an author, cite the source by its title in the signal praise or use the first word or two in the parenthesis. Titles of books and reports are italicized or underlined. Titles of articles and chapters are in quotation marks. Example, a similar study was done of students learning to format research papers, open parenthesis, quote, using APA, comma, quote, 2001, close parenthesis, period. And take note, in the rare case, the anonymous used for the author, treat it as the author's name. For example, open parenthesis, anonymous, comma, 2001, close parenthesis, period. In the reference list, use the name anonymous as the author. What if the author is an organization or the government agency? If the authors is an organization or a government agency, mention the organization in the signal praised or in the parenthetical citation. In the first time, you cite the source. Example, according to the American Psychological Association, open close parenthesis 2000, and then write the content. And if the organization has a well-known abbreviation, for example, DepEd, include the abbreviation in the brackets the first time the source is cited, and then use the only abbreviation in later citations. For example, first citation, open parenthesis, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and another open parenthesis, MADD, and stands for Mothers Against Drunk Driving, close parenthesis, comma, 2000, and close parenthesis. Second example, for second citation, open parenthesis, MADD, comma, 2000, close parenthesis. Now, we have here two or more works in the same parenthesis. When your parenthetical citation includes two or more works, order them the same way they appear in their reference list, separated by a semicolon. Example, open parenthesis, Burned, comma, 2002, and then semicolon. Harlow, comma, 1983, close parenthesis. For the authors with the same last name. To prevent confusion, use first initials with the last names. Example, open parenthesis, E. Johnson, comma, 2001. And then semicolon, L. Johnson, comma, 1998, close parenthesis. That is an example for the authors with the same last name. Now, what if we have writings by the same authors on the same year? What we gonna do, or how we gonna cite them? If you have two sources by the same author in the same year, use the lowercase letters ABC with the year to order the entries in the reference list. Use the lowercase letters with the year in the text citation. Example, research by Byrne, open parenthesis, 1981, A, close parenthesis, illustrated that, or the content. Now, if you are citing the personal communication, for example, interviews or letters, or emails, and another person-to-person communication, cite the communicator's name, the fact that it was the personal communication, and the date of the communication. Do not include personal communication in the reference list. Example, open parenthesis, E. Robbins, personal communication, comma, January 4, 2001, close parenthesis, period. Another example, A.P. Smith also claimed that many of her students had difficulties with APA styles. Open parenthesis, personal communication, comma, November 3, 2002, close parenthesis, period. And how about citing indirect sources? If you are using a content or related literature, but you are not directing the source, if that gonna happen, if you use a source that was cited in another source, name the original source in your signal praise. And then list the secondary source in your reference list and include the secondary source in the parentheses. Examples, Johnson's argued that the content as cited rather in a Smith, comma, 2003, page 102, close parenthesis. Note, when citing material in a parenthesis, set off the citation with a comma as above. And if no author or a date is given, use the title in your signal phrases, or phrase rather, or the first word or two of the title in the parenthesis. And use the abbreviation ND, or N, the small n dot, and the small letter D dot, quote unquote, for a no date. It stands for no date, the small letter N and the small letter D. Example, another study of students and research decisions covered that students succeeded with tutoring. Open parenthesis, quote, tutoring and APA, comma, quote, N dot D dot, or the small letter N and D for no date. And that's all the lesson for today. Thank you very much. Once again, this is Dexter Magno. And the publication manual of the American Psychological Association, 6th edition, 2009, provides guidelines for formatting reference list. You're gonna see that on the APA publication manual, 6th edition. That was published on 2009. And that's all. Thank you very much, and goodbye.